Hi everyone, it's Evangeline here at etrailer.com, and today we are looking at our Yakima EXO System with the SwingBase and our GearWarrior cargo carrier here at eTrailer. If you're interested in the EXO System and you know about how you can build up and beyond with it, but you just want to start with the base and something to give you extra cargo space, this is a great way to start. This is basically a roof basket on your hitch with the opportunity to build up. The EXO System is Yakima's way of expanding upon your hitch to carry even more accessories and gear for your different and changing adventures. This modular system uses mix and match accessories for camping, cycling, skiing, and biking, as well as cargo carriers to maximize your space. You can see how we have this loaded up with all our gear and even our cooler, basically everything you need for a nice camping trip. This has a weight capacity of 250 pounds with it loaded up on our SwingBase. The dimensions of the GearWarrior itself is 60 inches long, 23 inches wide, and 6.5 inches tall. The straps I used here are our eTrailer straps. You can pick them up here at our website, but notice how easy it was to tie them down into our GearWarrior. We have these very convenient bars all around the cargo carrier, which makes it a lot easier to secure your gear. Once you have everything loaded and you are ready to go on your adventure, just make sure to, of course, have your cargo strapped down and that your straps are good and nice and tight against your gear. Also, please double check that your exhaust will not interfere with whatever you have loaded up and you are not in danger of melting anything. While some cargo carriers can tilt away if you want to access your hatch or lower your tailgate, what this does is something special. It swings away, and you can do so by starting at this knob in the back. Loosen this knob in the back completely until it releases from the SwingBase right there. Then you pull this other knob and then push out on the handle all the way for 90 degrees. You'll know it's fully swung out when that knob in the corner secures it into place, and you can see how in this position you have plenty of space. You can open your hatch, lower your tailgate. What I like to do is I like to grab things from my trunk while my friend grabs things from the GearWarrior. The SwingBase fits into your 2-inch hitch. Now please be mindful of your hitch's weight capacity because honestly the entire system plus all the gear you have it loaded up with can be pretty hefty. When you arrive at your campsite, your resort, wherever you're headed to, this is actually pretty quick and easy to take off. All you need to do is unlock the tabs and then loosen your speed knobs all the way till they tighten back up again right there. And from here, you just grab your GearWarrior and you're ready to go. You saw how it looks with everything loaded up. Now let's take everything off so that we can take a closer look at the cargo carrier itself. The inside dimensions, where you have the smallest amount of space between the bars, from bar to bar, it sits at 54 inches long. And for width, we have it at 21 inches. With this style of cargo carrier, it's kind of like a roof basket on your hitch, and it have a gap on the inside that allows things to dry out or just sit out in the air, and you don't have to worry about water pooling. You do have a gap between the bars of 3 1/8 inches though, so just keep that in mind with whatever you're storing. Let's talk about what it's made of. So the entire GearWarrior is made of a durable steel construction with this black powder coat that helps it stay rust resistant. Now, if you do scratch it up, I recommend trying to touch it up just to maintain that resistance. If you have the back deck from the Yakima EXO System, you can see how it also fits perfectly inside your GearWarrior if you want to carry that with you. I highly recommend picking up the Warrior Wheels cart kit because this will transform your cargo carrier into a cart. Before installing your GearWarrior, you're going to have to set up the arms on your SwingBase first. There's a knob here at the end of the driver's side arm, so you'll start with that. Pull that knob out and then pull the arm out. Do the exact same thing on the passenger side arm. Pull that knob and then swing this arm out into position. Once you've installed the plates on your GearWarrior, you just slide them into the tracks and the cleats latch on to the arms, and then you just tighten it down with the speed knobs right here at the end all the way till it's tight. and then secure it with the tabs. If you have any other questions about this system, I actually just had a conversation with some of my coworkers where they asked some questions about it. Let's take a look at that discussion. So we've been able to play around with all of the Yakima EXO system down here all week. We've been throwing things on the SwingBase, the top shelf. We've been mixing them around, loading them up, taking them off. It's a lot of different products, so I understand if you guys have any questions about how the system works, this is your time.
So these products will only work on the SwingBase, correct?
Yes, they will. The SwingBase is the core to this entire system, and nothing else will work if you do not have that SwingBase.
And what products do you have on there right now?
So right now, I have the SwingBase and on top of the SwingBase is our GearWarrior, which is like a roof basket for your hitch, and then we have the top shelf installed.
Which the GearWarrior, you can actually throw on these little wheels, and we can actually make it into something that's portable.
Yeah.
Yep.
The GearWarrior turns into a cart for when you want to.
The video's not on, so you're fine.
Now, could you carry two of the GearWarriors? Could you carry one where it is now and then put another one up on top?
Yep.
Yes, absolutely can. So you can get, for the cargo carriers, you can carry two of them each. So the GearWarrior is the cargo carrier, and the Gear Locker is the enclosed cargo carrier that looks like a box. So you can have both of those on there at the same time.
So both of those, or two of the GearWarrior, or two of the Locker, that you can like mix and match those, which is really nice.
And then do you have the bike rack?
Yes, I'll actually grab that bike rack real quick. So the thing about the bike rack is if you're going to be loading two things at the same time, the bike rack has to be by itself on top. All right, if it doesn't get caught on your pants, I guess. So like for the bike rack, if you do have bikes, obviously it's going to be pretty tall. But so if you have the GearWarrior or the Gear Locker on the bottom, the bike rack goes on top.
And you couldn't put two bike racks on there?
No,
you can't.
There's not very much room.
For that, no. But yep, so that's how quick and easy it is just to toss something on top. And now you can carry two bikes as well as all of your equipment on the bottom.
Now, how about locks?
There's a lot of places to put lock cores on this system. I think the most I counted was 9 all at once. I think it was with the bike rack and the like the Gear Locker on the bottom.
It was the Gear Locker, yeah.
Yeah, because the SwingBase comes with 3 locks. So one for each of the knobs, and then there's a hitch pin. The top shelf comes with 3 locks. Again, for the knobs and the hitch pin to hold the top shelf. And then each of the items have their own spots for lock cores. Like the bike racks have 2 lock core spots, one on each arm, to lock each bike. So you can have at least 9 lock cores on your system at once.
And these don't come with the lock cores pre-installed. You have to add them separately?
Yes. So they come with a plastic end, and that's what you add the lock core to.
Right. But I mean, that way you could make sure that you have all of them the same key number so you can have them all keyed alike.
Yeah. So like here on our snowbank, we still kept the plastic lock core on there just so you can see what it looks like. So it will still function the exact same way. It just won't be able to be locked until you add a lock core.
Cool.
Now the SwingBase comes with the locks because that's an important part. I believe it comes with the locks.
Yep, it did whenever we were putting it together.
Yeah, because that's what you need to use the knob.
So lock cores are definitely a big one. It's almost like if you're getting one of the kit systems, you'd almost want to just have those bought already.
I think the best thing to do is once you get the SwingBase, also get like 8 locks in anticipation of your future accessories.
Yeah, because we were talking about it with some of our other coworkers, and it would be a pain if you got like almost everything that the EXO system can give you, and then you have like 7 or 8 keys that you have to go through and figure out which ones are which. It wouldn't be fun.
Yeah, it'd be better to get them all at once and then just have one key that works for all of them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then just add them as you go.
Yeah. So the hitch lock comes with the SwingBase, and the knobs on the SwingBase come with locks, but everything else is separate.
Everything else is separate. Some of them come with like little lock cores with them, but they're not keyed alike with the rest.
Right.
So
So it's better to buy a pack, like you said, of 8, and then just make sure they're all the same.
yeah, because right now, like this top shelf is going to have a different key from the bottom swing base, and then the actual like bike locks are going to have different keys. So that's already 3 keys that you have to, keep track of. And that's only, a full setup
Right.
of like, this is one of the kits, correct?
Yes. So, and if you switch it out with the snowbank, or you switch this one with another gear locker, those also have different locks. So in anticipation of how many accessories you have, try to think about lock doors as well.
Is the weight capacity the same for the upper tier as it is the lower tier?
No, and that's what you're gonna have to be super sure of. Well, not sure of, but check before you load things up. Like here we have the GearWarrior, and it has the highest possible weight capacity, which is 250 pounds, if it's installed alone on the SwingBase. But once you install the top shelf, anything on the bottom has a slightly less weight capacity. And if you put this GearWarrior on this top shelf, it will have a weight capacity of 80 pounds. So it's a big difference depending on where you mount it.
That is a big difference.
Yeah, that is a big difference. And I bet that's mostly to do with the hitch itself rather than the actual component weight capacities.
Yes, all because it's further away from the hitch. Like
Right.
with any extender we have the weight capacity. So also the top shelf can be pushed out if you're worried about clearance for your back. So I believe that would also be why they have a lower base weight.
Now, much like a lot of bike racks will fold up so you can pull into a garage or whatnot, is there any kind of fold-up option for this, or do you have to remove it from your hitch if you're in a tight spot?
Yes, you'd have to, well, yeah.
So
You'd have to remove it. It swings away, which is it's, compromised for not being able to tilt away or fold up. But yes.
the closest thing you could get to like folding it is taking almost everything off. Like you can take off your equipment and you can take off the top, and then the 2 bottom arms fold in.
Mhm.
That's about the closest thing that you would get to it, but it's not like you can fold it any other way. And you still got a good amount sticking out, but at least those 2 Yakima arms are going to slide in against the base.
Can you remove the bike rack and put on the ski rack real quick?
I can. One thing though about the top shelf is that it does add a little bit to where it feels slightly heavier, but yes, I can. So first you just have to lock it like that, where it's open, then lift your bike rack off. Then I'll find somewhere to put this. And then the snowbank comes in 2 parts. So here's one. That just slides into those tracks. Then we'll tighten those cleats down on that. And then lock that tab into place. That secures it. So the tabs only turn when it's fully tightened down. That lets you know it's fully tightened down. And that's it. Ready to load.
Remind me, you can't just buy the fit feet and add them to your previously existing Yakima accessories to make them work with this, correct? They're all they have to be for the EXO systems.
Yes, I think the actual clamps are available anywhere to install. So it's just EXO system accessories that fit into those tracks.
Yeah, we haven't seen any evidence to the contrary that we'd be able to do that. So
No, that makes sense. I just wanted to double check.
I think like the only thing from Yakima's previous line that fits on this is the Skinny Warrior, and that's because the clamps for the GearWarrior are attached to the GearWarrior. So that's what allows the Skinny Warrior to be retrofit because it fits perfectly on top of that too. But other than that, nothing else that I know of.
Okay, well, glad we could answer some of your questions on the EXO system. It's definitely an interesting one. We've messed around with it for what, like last 3 days, 4 days?
4 days, yes. It's definitely something for people who've already filled up their roof rack or can't get a roof rack. So they're looking into this because this is a roof basket, but on my hitch, or a roof box on my hitch, plus a ski and snowboard carrier. So I do see people that are thinking of whether to get a trailer or this as an option, as a comparison.
Yep. And I would definitely say that if somebody's wanting to buy this, they're going to want to be able to get as many of the pieces as possible. This doesn't seem like something you would want to be like, oh, I'm just getting this for skis or for a bike. Like, this is something like, oh, I need room for my skis, my bikes, and then maybe I'm going to go just camping and I need 2 cargo carriers for the week or something like that.
Sure, that makes sense.
That was my one question is, after our conversation this morning, that is this a bike rack? Like, if you were just going to get the bike rack, is it really that comparable to other swing away bike racks, or is this kind of more trouble than it's worth?
It's
You know what I mean?
good, but like it's like, you know, having a piece of like a massive puzzle. It's like you just don't want that specific piece if you can't fill out the rest of it.
Yeah, I think the beauty of it is how fast it is to mix and match. Like I have not been able to install a bike rack as fast as I was to do this, like any other hitch mounted bike rack. So that base is what creates the speed. And the beauty of it is that mix and match modular ability. So at its price point, let's say just a bike rack on the SwingBase, I do not think is as effective as a bike rack created just for your hitch. If that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. That's what I was wondering. So I just, after you guys have been able to think about it a little bit more, or you know, reflect how it compares to other swing away bike racks. So I think if anybody were to stumble upon it in that bike rack category, that's good to know that it's like, yeah, you can buy this just as a bike rack, but there are better options if that's all you want. And this is really more for.
Absolutely. Absolutely. My final thoughts about this kit is I love how quick and easy it is to use everything. When I lifted the GearWarrior out and away, I noticed how light it is compared to other roof baskets, and that's awesome. Not including the fact that you can build this up with other accessories. You can throw a bike rack on there. You can throw the gear locker and closed cargo carrier on there. You can get another GearWarrior. It's all an amazing system which allows you to build up and out the way you want it to be for your adventures. And that was a look at the Yakima EXO System with the SwingBase and the GearWarrior here at eTrailer.